Cuffs are off, man. Get right. Too many left in these leagues, but I ain't gonna...
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up everybody? It's Marcus Grant from NFL Network.
This is AJ Dillon of the Green Bay Packers.
I got to give a shout out to y'all at Get Right Fantasy.
If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Best of luck with your podcast. Appreciate the support.
And you're tuned in to watch my boys at Get Right Fantasy Network. Get you right. Enjoy the show.
Marking nothing, but I tune every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, don't roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down, cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right, cause I roll my sleeves up.
What up? What up? What up, world? We are back. I'm Anthony, aka Rasta. This is Get Right Fantasy Network. Week 3 is in the books. We're basically like a fourth or a third of the way through this season, fantasy season already. So enjoy it while you have it. It's crazy when you think about it that way.
I don't know about that. It's only 3 games.
Yeah, we only play 14 weeks, man. Some people only get to play 14 weeks.
I guess
so. We're almost done.
Just thinking total 17.
Yeah, no, it's almost here. So we're like a fourth of the way through it, man. So a fourth is already done. We're turning that page to week 4 here. And man, what a week 3 was. 70 burger put up by the Dolphins. Your freaking Cowboys losing to the damn Cardinals. Like, what's that all about? Of course I got to bring it up. You know I'm going to bring it up. And no major running back injuries this week, which is like, thank God, finally. You're like, all right, that's good. Little QB scare. We saw Mahomes kind of go down. That was, get rolled up on
them a little bit. Yeah,
that was a little scary, but a ton of fantasy points scored overall. A lot of that had to do, of course, with the Dolphins and putting up ridiculous numbers there. But just everywhere, man. Keenan Allen. I mean, just Ken Walker is going crazy. Just we'll get into all that here when we talk about our top performers. So it was just crazy, man. So like I said, we'll get into all that, man. I'm here with my boy Fish and Frank. Frank, how are you? How was your week? I went 11-5 in my leagues. How'd you do?
Well, I went 4-1. I don't have as many leagues as you do, but
that's okay.
I did well. I mean, I did well.
Nice.
I'm happy with that. And yeah, we'll have to find another day, right?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Mean, yeah, you got to look. You already got to look. Hey, take the win. And I'm already thinking next week.
Yeah, turn the page. Yeah, not too high on the highs, not too low on the lows. You just stay the course, and we'll see it through, man. And again, hopefully, a lot of us here at Get Right are playing weeks 15, 16, and 17. So, what's up to everybody in the chat, man? We got Neanderthal in the house. What up? What up? What up? We got Eli Murphy saying he actually got here on time. We're late. So we're glad we're on your time. That's on me.
That works out.
But exactly. So there we go. We got Warrior Loft in the house, man. What up, guys? What's up? What's up? Neanderthal saying RIP to the Denver Broncos. Someone's probably getting fired over there, and I don't know who, but we'll see what happens. I know that new ownership group isn't happy by having their team that they basically just bought be one of the worst, defeats in literally not even franchise history. NFL history. Only 4 teams have had 70 points put on them, and they could have had more. Like, they literally took the foot off the brake, and they took their foot off the gas like well early. They just like A-Chain like broke for a 65-yard like touchdown. What's he supposed to do? Take a knee at the 5 and just go down like it's at the end of the game? We're talking, this is the middle of the like third quarter still. So
yeah,
we'll get into that, man. I mean, it's just crazy. They could have just kept taking knees. Like, that would have been even more disrespectful, I think, than running up the score. That would have been like, yeah,
right?
Exactly. I'd be like, no, you guys just put it on us, like, and let's just get out of here. Eli's saying, yeah, the Broncos looked awful, man. And he's saying, Eli saying he had Mike Will. He feels bad, man. So Mike Williams going down with the ACL. We'll get into that when we talk our news and notes here. So welcome.
Major injury for the weekend, right? Really, that one, right?
Exactly. A little teaser there, a little teaser. So just so for those of you guys who are new here to the show, on Mondays, Frank and I are here doing our overreaction and waiver wire ads. We're back here on Wednesday night for our roster management, or as I like to call it, of course, the Rasta management show. So we talk buy, sell, trade targets, and how to get your lineups right heading into the week and rest of the season outlook as well. So we take those questions then. And then we do our start sit show. Classic Mike and I are here on Friday nights doing game by game start sits, again, taking your live Q&A, as well as Sunday mornings. Classic is here doing his last minute active and inactives, last minute start sit advice right up until kickoff. So be sure you guys hit that subscribe button for us if you're watching and you're new, or you're watching and you're not live. Hit it for us. If you're already subscribed, make sure you guys hit that like button for us. It helps us out just as much. So
and the notifications.
Yeah, turn those notifications on too. So because we try to be on time, as you see down here at the bottom. Our programming here, but we do have other things going on here. But we will be with you guys here 4 days a week. So hopefully more. But for now, we're 4 days here with you. Before we start overreacting everything, of course, I got to thank our sponsor, man. UnderdogFantasy.com. For those of you guys who don't know, it's a best ball platform, and they also do a variety of pick'em contests, which I love during the season. Once those season-long, best ball drafts, big tournaments are done. When you do sign up, make sure you use that promo code GetRight, because for all new customers, not only are they getting the deposit match, but also the mystery pick'em special, as Frank put up here on the screen. And actually, this is an old slide. I need to update it with the new one, because for all the new folks that use that promo code GetRight and sign up for a new account, you're getting a $500 deposit match when you make that first deposit. So it used to be $100. Now it's $500 that they're going to match when you do that, man. So make sure you guys go to UnderdogFantasy.com and again use that promo code GetRight. Come here with us, have a lot of fun, man. And hopefully you can get in on those pick'ems, as well as their daily contests and things like that. So it's just a lot of fun. Great website. So there you go. Oh yeah, and actually one more thing on that. If you guys, they're also giving away $100,000 every week to 10 lucky random people, as long as you include their featured pick in one of your pick'em contests. Last week it was Tyreek Hill, higher or lower than 89.5 total yards. If you did higher or lower on that and had a card, whether you won on that card or not, you could be selected to win 10 grand each. So they're just giving away money over there, man. So get in there. I need
to get started playing over some more.
Yeah, see, there you go. See, boom. See, got him. Yeah. Got him. So you got to wait for him. So there we go, man. So again, use that promo code GetRight when you guys go sign up. All right, so let's get into it here. Just so you guys know, for the show here, we're going to go, again, we'll do our overreactions. We're going to recap our Monday Night Football that we just watched here. We'll get into those news and notes like we talked about, and injury updates. And then we'll give you our top waiver adds here for the week. If you are watching tomorrow, I'm going to go ahead and try to get those chapters in there. So make sure you guys check that out. So if you happen to not want to discuss the Q&A that we have everybody in here for, you can just skip to the certain sections that you want. So make sure you guys get in the description and check out those chapters there. So without any further ado, let's start the show for real now. So Monday Night Football, man. First game. Yeah, exactly. Got to get all that other stuff out of the way. But we have Eagles 25 at the Bucks 11. Interesting game here. Eagles kind of dominated from start to finish. We had, of course, DeAndre Swift having a nice curtain call, so to speak, or maybe not curtain call. What's the encore performance? I guess is more the performance. Yeah. It was some type of theater term I was going for there. Not my area of expertise. I'll just stick in the football lane. But he followed up his 170+ yard game last week. We were all kind of wondering what's going to happen when Kenny Gainwell comes back. 16 carries, 130 yards. Seems like he's the clear number one there, at least the most efficient. Looks like Gainwell still, did get some touches in there. Penny's definitely the odd man out. AJ Brown had a nice bounce back game here as well.
I don't know if I'd call him the clear, because Gainwell got quite a few touches as well. I don't know if I'd call him the clear number one guy.
All right. I'm sure Tycoon would beg to differ if he's out there watching right now, because he's a big Swift fan. But we had Gainwell got 14 carries, Swift got 16. So like you're saying, it was kind of like a 50-50 split as far as carries go. But obviously, Swift outperformed him, 16 carries for 130 versus Gainwell's 14 for 43. Neither scored a rushing touchdown. Of course, that went to Jalen Hurts, which is kind of the problem with these guys here. And Swift, interesting, only had 2 targets and 1 catch for only 8 yards.
I love that
Gainwell
stuff,
had 1
man. I
catch
love
for
it when they
5
line
yards.
up.
But yeah, it's a rugby
It's
scrum,
like
man. How do you not love
yes,
that?
I love it because it's awesome because it's my quarterback. Right? That's what.
Oh, there you go. So even more.
I just
He
think
has a
it's
little
cool.
personal bias
You
in
know,
there.
honestly, they just line up and they like you're saying. Yeah. It's just you do get the easy lineup. Everybody in the stadium knows. Everybody knows what's going on, and they still do
They
it.
can't stop it, and you
That's
can't
terrible.
stop it. It has to be
Yeah.
defeating. Like when you
Yeah,
know
you get that 1
exactly
yard,
what
2
they're gonna
yards. I
do.
think they even went for like 3 right now.
And yeah, at
Yeah,
one point
and
I
they're
think
not
I
doing.
saw
They
them.
can't do nothing about it.
Yeah, like I think I saw Tycoon say in our Dynasty chat that at one point, like Goddard actually lifted up Hurts and just pushed him across on the pile, like from under his arms. That can't be legal. Like I know you can't pick someone up and pull them in,
What?
but they have to create some type of like how you can't vault when you're trying to block a kick, and things like
Yeah.
that. So they're gonna have to put some type of rules where you can't have somebody within like 1 or 2 yards from the quarterback, or if he's under center, like there has to be a certain amount of space, or they're probably gonna create some kind of rule, or it's just gonna take for someone to get just completely wrecked, like having their knees taken out or bent or twisted up in one of those scrums, for them
Yeah.
to end up doing something or second guessing it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
For
so
the
I mean,
notice.
yeah. So any other big takeaways you had from this game here?
Nah, it was just a blowout. In general,
mean-
I mean, you know what I mean. The defense was just on them. They couldn't do nothing, so it's the Philly just took over, and that was that. I mean,
There you go.
it was amazed they actually didn't score more because they did get intercepted twice and whatnot, and one of them was I think was in the end zone. So it's just they did their part to try to hold it off, but I mean there was they didn't have a chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Mike Evans kind of started off slow, ended up having a big night. 10 targets, had 5 catches for 60 yards and their lone touchdown. Chris Godwin caught the little 2-point conversion there. So at least there are, potential, plays that can be ran if they get in that red zone for Godwin. So maybe there's some positive there. Rashad White had a decent game, on the ground. As far as that goes, I mean, 14 carries, 38 yards. I mean, not even decent, only 2.7 per carry. I had some, I guess I was looking at him in my Scott Fishbowl league when you get kind of like rushing
The
first down
important
points
thing
and all
is that he got
so.
the carries. The important thing is that the game got out of hand, but the important thing is he got that 14 carries. You know what I mean? I mean, the yardage
Right.
wasn't good because they were playing a really good defense, but
Right.
it's the usage that mattered.
Yeah,
So I
3
mean, he's
catches,
the guy.
3 targets. Yeah, I mean, it's a workhorse role over there. So
And who's this guy?
better
Zacchaeus?
roles
You know what I
ahead.
mean?
Oh yeah, Olamide Zacchaeus or something like that. He used to
They
be
came
in
out of
Atlanta,
nowhere.
remember? Yeah, he used to be in
No, I
Atlanta,
don't
remember? Oh, he used to just score like a random touchdown like every 3 games over there, just like out of nowhere, and have this kind of game, like 2 catches, 50 yards, touchdown. So yeah, I mean that's just typical for him. But he'll do it like every 3 or 4
Huh.
games. So yeah, I don't think he's anyone we're rushing to go grab on the waiver wire here. So
Oh no. That's why I said, who is this guy? Come on, he's like some
Yeah.
random touchdown guy.
exactly. Trey Palmer, still somebody I like. I mean, ran some routes, only had the 1 catch for 8 yards, but definitely someone, that might potentially be someone to look at in the future as bye weeks come up. Maybe you need to throw somebody in there, or if anything does happen to Evans or Godwin, he could definitely be someone. I just, I have him in our Dynasty League. I have him in my Taxi Squad. So, again, little
That's
extra
deep
bias there. Had to mention his name
That's-
at least.
Just deep stuff right there.
Exactly. So we'll move on, man. So we'll wrap that one up. Next game we had again, we're week 3, still having two Monday night games.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't.
Yeah,
like
it's kind of weird.
I like
It was
having that
it's okay once. Yeah.
I get it. I get the idea behind it. But yeah, no. I just it's more enjoyable to be able to get just to pay attention to one game sometimes. Rather than the
Absolutely.
whole weekend with you know what I mean? Like you try to get as
Mhm.
much game time in on the week. At least I try to, get as many games in as possible.
Mhm.
And TV's on and whatnot. Sometimes you just need the break and be like, can I just get one game? Like relax.
Now you're flipping back and forth, so it's all good, man. We got FF Season in the house. What's up, Season? How's it going? We have a sports spotlight back in the house. How's it going, man? He says just lost because of Kyron. That happens. I mean, Kyron didn't have too big of a game. We're going to recap that here, but you know, it's enough. Sometimes just enough is enough. And I know how you feel there. We have G Hop back in the house. What's up, man? Good to see you again. I think this is like the third stream in a row now. So again, welcome to Get Right Fantasy, man. Glad you're here. We have Joe Jackson in the house. This is, I think, a new name here. How's it going, Joe? Hopefully, you'll subscribe for us here as we, go on our quest to try to hit 1,000 subs here. He says DK Metcalf and Breece Hall for Derrick Henry, W or L. I think I'd rather have DK in that situation. Breece Hall, I'm definitely not on, so I don't mind trading him. But, I mean, I'd still at least just kind of hold him now because I want DK. So I don't think it's a win or a loss. I think it's kind of a wash. Yeah, I would just try to see if you could throw another wide receiver in there, Breece Hall and somebody else for Derrick Henry. But, he's definitely going to be someone we're talking about on the Wednesday buy-sell trade show, and we'll have some more research and everything for you then. But right out of the gate here, I don't think it's a W or an L, but I do like Henry. He's dealing with the toe. Obviously didn't do great, 11 carries for 20 yards or something crazy like that. Not a normal Henry stat line, but, you chalk up the toe. And more importantly, you just want to try to, there's just not that many good running backs out there right now because of all the injuries. Yeah. So the fact that you can still have them. Yeah, it's just, I'd still want to keep, hold on to DK. So I'd like it more if you can swap out maybe for your next best receiver after DK and see if you can still get that done. But yeah, so hopefully that helped you out there. Did I even ask you your side of it, Frank? You got to slow me down sometimes. I just start going on a roll.
No. It's okay. I agree. I don't know. I'd actually, in the way you laid it out, I'd actually stick with Derrick Henry.
Okay. So you think it's a W?
Mouths to feed over there. And yeah.
There you go.
It's just, I mean, you got Justin Smith with Jigma, and then you got
Lockett.
Lockett, and Lockett's always got a good share of. I mean, he just does his thing quietly, without fanfare. Everybody pays attention to DK over here, but that dude's just doing work over there, Lockett. So I mean, he gets his number, his touches in, and he puts in the work. So I'd still do the Henry side myself. But if I agree with Anthony, if we are going to make the trade, get another quarterback or somebody else in there besides Breece Hall,
or not a quarter. No. Yeah, you want to give Breece Hall away somebody else besides DK. Yeah, besides DK. Yeah. Or if you do this trade, maybe you go to just grab Quentin Johnston off the waiver wire. Little tease for later here in the show. So we have. So again, appreciate you, Joe Jackson, man. Hopefully, we'll keep seeing you here. Sports said he had Maher also, but his opponent had Jamar and the Bengals defense, and he ended up losing 151 to 160. So I was kind of right in there, man. I one of our in our home league, our keeper league. I scored 167, I believe it was, and I lost to 180. We were the two highest scores of the week by almost a lot in that league, and I just happened to play the number one scoring team, and I was the second best scoring team. Like, I would have rather just had none of my guys do anything that week, took the L, and moved on. It's tough to start your optimal lineup, get one of the highest scores of the week, or the highest score.
It still matters later on. You need all those points. You need all those points.
It does help, but it kind of sucks wasting like Keenan Allen and his performance and all that.
Here's Derek asking, rank these three, Thielen, Palmer, or Dell, half point PPR.
What do you got?
Thielen, Palmer.
I think I'll go with you on that until I see what Palmer can do, and only because I'm a little more scared of QJ, and we'll get into that here later. So yeah, my quick answer would be Dell, just because he's exciting, and I'd take it. Thielen, I think it's a definite sell high opportunity there. He's not going to have the red rifle with him for all year. It's going to go back to Bryce Young, and Palmer still attached to Herbert, but obviously they had no problem 20 targets to Keenan Allen, so we'll get to that. Absolutely. So what else do we got? We have G Hop asking, is Terry plus Lawrence a good package for Josh Allen? Scary Terry and Lawrence? Yeah, hit smash accept on that, bro. Like, smash accept on that easily, and then go pick up QJ or Palmer or both. What do you think?
No.
Really? Oh, okay.
I wouldn't
take Terry and Lawrence.
No, not for Josh Allen now.
Well, no, he's saying for Josh Allen. So he's trading Terry and Lawrence for, or just which side? It doesn't matter who's getting who. Like, do you want the Josh Allen side or do you want the Terry and Lawrence side?
I want the Josh Allen side.
Okay, that's what I thought. I think we were agreeing the same thing, just saying it differently. He said, or is he giving up too much? Not at all. You can't give up too much to get Josh Allen.
No.
So yeah.
If you did that, then you're winning.
Exactly. And what else do we got here? Will Hayes is saying, what do you guys think about Devon A-Chain? Do you believe he's a starter, RB2, or a flex? We'll get into that. He's going to obviously be our waiver wire talk.
Wait,
so
man, let's get in there right now.
Because we have a show, we have the chapters in there, so the chapters are going to have to be there for a reason.
Right
so
those chapters tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll get talking about it here. But of course, I want to show everybody the love in here. Let's see who else we got. Yeah, so I think they're just asking about that. So we'll continue. It's past that. Yeah, so we're gonna get into it, man. You guys keep going on in the chat in there. We'll get to some of the show, and then of course we'll pop back in the chat here, in between our segments, so to speak. So we'll move on to the other Monday Night Football game here. We have the Rams 16, Bengals 19, getting their first win of the season. The big news here is Big Joe D, Big D Joe, should I say, is actually active. Didn't look great. They're saying he's not 100%, but having him out there
very well, dude. That dude was barely moving at all. You could tell he was limber. He
wasn't planning, throwing off his back foot.
But he didn't have to. He did what he needed to do. The defense kept them in the game, did all their right spots. He even said after the game, all I had to do was not make mistakes, basically.
Right. And get the ball to Jamar Chase.
Yeah. And so that's all he did. Like, he wasn't running around nothing crazy or nothing like that, dude. Dude looked very,
just take the sack.
Just trying to, exactly. Or throw it away or whatever. He just was doing the right things just to keep himself safe, basically.
Absolutely. So there we go. Any other takeaways from this? I mean, Puka Nacua kind of came down to earth, but if coming down to earth means like 5 catches for 72 yards or something like that, I mean, if that's like your floor, that's not a bad floor in PPR. That's still, 13.5 or 13.2 PPR points or something like that. So, I mean, I can't hate on that at all.
I still like Tutu Atwell though. On that same side over there, he still got 4 receptions, 50 yards, and the TD.
Led in targets.
And yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Tutu Atwell, definitely a waiver wire ad. Somebody along with Puka, because I think everybody went after Puka, kind of forgot about Tutu, who had literally the same stat line in that first game. It just looked like Puka was like the man, but literally same touches and catches and yards. Remember that?
Yeah.
So now
you've been preaching that for weeks.
It's continuous, and I'm going to be looking to get him here. But yeah, low game for Kyron Williams. But I mean, hey, it was a tough game for them. He went 10 for 38 yards, no touchdowns, and then receiving, he did 2 for 27. So, mild game. He got me enough to get the win. Obviously wanted more, but it is what it is. Sometimes, if they, obviously lose the game and the game is not going well, sometimes the rushing suffers, right? I mean, they got to pass the ball more. They got to try to get back into the game and whatnot. So it is gameship at sometimes. Obviously, when the getting's good and they're playing well and they're winning, well, then the guys are feasting. So, I would just dust yourself off and keep starting Kyron. You know what I mean? Just like, it's just one of those games, right?
Yeah. It's Stafford, obviously those 2 picks killed him. Kind of started doing Stafford things again. That one was like the first interception was crazy when he threw it like sidearm. Like it was a great looking throw, and I thought he was going to complete it because you're used to seeing him do stuff like that, and his no look in the Super Bowl and all that kind of stuff. And again, this is a Super Bowl rematch, right? I think this is the first time these guys have played since the Super Bowl. So, I mean, his arm talent is still fine. I mean, that elbow is definitely good now. I'm not worried about his elbow anymore if he's making throws like that. However, it was a little behind. He was being pressured and, of course, led to the pick by Wilson. So, those things happen. 18 for 33. Still had 269 yards, like you said, passing in a comeback type situation. Again, they weren't down like crazy. Again, it was 16-19. But, those picks definitely killed them. So is what it is. So yeah, anything else you have to add on this one? The T. Higgins drops were awful.
Yeah,
I think he had more drops than receptions this game.
He went out of the game though, hurt.
Yeah, for a little while.
So I don't remember him coming back and doing much anymore. Anyway, so
yeah, 2 catches on 8 targets, and at least 2 or 3 of those I think were drops. So yeah, tough outing for Higgins, but he'll bounce back. Maybe you like that, buy low candidate. Go get him if you can.
These guys are hating on him though. They don't like Kyron. He's no good, bad quarterback, running back. Murphy's like, Kyron also has an awful combine. He ranked one of the lowest in the athleticism. He only made for his catch.
Preach, Eli. That's why I was kind of fading, not like fading Kyron. I mean, I think he was kind of worth it, but I wasn't spending a bunch of fab on him. But yeah, I know you're heavily invested in him, so
yeah,
you're still riding it out. Again, Monday Night Football, it's tough. People can have bad games. I mean, even Justin Jefferson has bad games. I don't know when, but he'll have one. No, I'm just kidding. Jefferson's the man. Anyway, all right, so we'll move on here.
Yeah, the first game was a bad game for JJ.
No, was it? He's had over like 100. He's had 150 yards. Nah, he had a bad week 17. The last 2 week 17s have been brutal in your championship game. That's been my. I don't want to say a knock on JJ, but of all the times to turn into a pumpkin, week 17 is not the week when he helped you get there.
Get it done earlier.
Yeah, exactly. So, but again, is what it is. All right, so we'll move on here, man. You guys keep it going. You got questions in the chat. Again, try to keep it to waiver wire questions right now, if you guys don't mind, just because, we'd like to kind of keep it within the segment, but we still will take your other ones. We just may not be completely focused or ready and prepared to answer some of those questions, but we'll always give you guys, what we're thinking on that. Derek said, thanks, guys. He just subbed. We'll see you next time. We'll be here on Wednesday, man. Appreciate you coming out. And Monday was Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. So hopefully we'll see you again, taking your questions here in the chat. So let's move on, man.
Join us early in the season for the mocking.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Well said. We have a mock draft tournament that we do in the off season during draft season. That's why you see here it says home of the Friday night mocks down there. So usually every Friday night we're doing mock drafts. We grade them, give you feedback, and more importantly, just getting that practice in. And then, of course, running our tournament the month of August, where we actually give out a cash prize. It's kind of convoluted to get all into the details, but if you do go into the description and join our private sleeper channel, you will see the thread that says the 2023 mock draft tournament of champions and has it all explained in there. And you can always hit me up directly, and I'd be happy to tell you about it. So let's move on. So we'll get into our news topics here and our injury updates for the week. The first one here, of course, like we mentioned earlier, Chargers wide receiver Mike Williams did suffer a torn ACL, had the MRI this morning, and it was confirmed, and he is going to be out for this season. So that's what, of course, leads to this whole Josh Palmer, Quentin Johnston waiver wire ads that we'll get into in more detail here later. The good thing that I mentioned at the top of the show, no major running back injuries this week. So that was finally a nice thing to not be, having your another main running back go down. However, Ravens running back Gus Edwards did leave the game and was being evaluated for concussion and didn't return. So if that's the most injury that we're dealing with at the running back position, everyone else who kind of got banged up, for this week, then we'll take it. Sorry, Gus, but you took one for the team for us there, so we all appreciate you not letting anybody else go down. So that was nice. As far as other running back kind of updates, Austin Eckler looks like he's going to be hopeful to play next week. He is dealing with, it came out that it is a higher type ankle sprain. Like I was saying from the get, based on the other interviews and stuff he was doing, I was like, the way he's talking about it, man, I swear it's a high ankle, which is the same situation that happened with Barkley. And then now Eckler. The thing is they do have a week 5 bye, the Chargers do, so they may just hold him out week 4, give him that week 5 bye, and have him come back week 6. So again, just something to keep an eye on. Don't get your hopes up with him coming back. We did have David Montgomery dealing with that thigh bruise, saying he's taking it day to day. They play on Thursday this week, playing against the Packers. He's saying if it was up to him, he'd be playing Thursday. He was technically limited in practice today, and they're just kind of seeing how things go for this week. We mentioned Chiefs quarterback. I don't even have to say that. Just Patrick Mahomes. Everybody knows who and where Patrick Mahomes plays. If you don't, welcome to football, which is fine. We'll take you. Come on in. But Chiefs QB Patrick Mahomes.
Maybe it's a Swifty watching.
Yeah, you never know. Could be. So Mahomes got up limping after he had his right ankle kind of rolled up on a knee. I was listening to Dr. Jesse Morse over at the Fantasy Docs. He said kind of, got rolled up on, worrying about maybe a potential high ankle, also a potential kind of MCL sprain, because we did see him kind of shaking that knee out, kind of really massaging that knee area. So, obviously he was able to come back after halftime, maybe got a shot or something in it, who knows, or just, needed to kind of walk it out and, realize he was okay, bounce back. These guys are high performing athletes. Like, their things can stretch and kind of come back every once in a while, and they could be okay. But he was able to play through it, and we'll see, what happens here. And it was like a blowout game, so I think if it was anything serious, they would have just sat him. They had no reason to bring him out at that point. So he should be fine, but definitely something to keep your eye on throughout the week. As far as other quarterbacks go, though, Derek Carr seemed to have avoided like a serious injury that they kind of feared initially. I heard they thought maybe he had broken ribs and possible punctured lung or other internal type injuries. But after, and he actually was taken to the hospital as he went out to have those tests after having the initial x-rays at the stadium, and came back to just be an AC joint sprain. It is in his throwing shoulder, so that might be a little tougher. Throughout the day, it was kind of like, it's kind of week to week. We'll see what happens. I think the Fantasy Docs were saying like potentially 2 to 4 weeks for AC joint to come back. He's talking about possibly even playing this next week, just depending on the pain tolerance there and what he can do. If not, Jameis Winston will get the start. Unfortunately, when Derek Carr, went down, it was 18-0 or 17-0, and they proceeded to lose 18-17. So
yeah, Jameis Winston gets to go back against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, so little revenge game there if that ends up happening. So we'll see what happens there. Other quarterback injury news here. Jimmy G was kind of bent up, tackled, kind of rolled up on and tackled at the same time, very awkwardly. They said he got pretzeled, so to speak, how he kind of went back and kind of scorpioned a little bit there. His ankle kind of really got caught under him as he got pulled back. Looked brutal, but ended up coming out, finishing the game, and peppered Devontae Adams with like 20-something targets as well. So that's fine. We want Jimmy G in there to keep throwing the ball to Adams like that for all of us, Adams owners out there that got him in like the late second round, putting up 40 PPR points. So just saying. Hopefully, he didn't get scared away by him. Other quarterback news here. A lot of quarterback updates here. So I mean, I'd rather it'd be quarterbacks than running backs at this point. But again, still enough to be a little worried. But Shane Steichen saying that Anthony Richardson still remains in the concussion protocol as of today. So that's a little something to kind of worry about. Most folks are kind of like, they'd be back to practice today, but he's saying he's still in the protocol. His head did bounce off that turf really hard on that play. So, there's a chance he could, miss another week here. So again, just something to keep your eye on. Minor kind of fantasy player news here. Jonathan Mingo left the game with a concussion, did not return, which I think is kind of what led to Thielen's big day. But he was kind of, Thielen was kind of doing okay anyway. And I think he just benefits from having a veteran Andy Dalton there. Anyway.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara. Week 3 is here and past now. So he's officially being reinstated. He will be able to practice this week and will officially be ready to play. So for all of us Kamara owners, welcome back. Nice to have him back. Coming back to an open backfield, obviously, with Jamal Williams on IR. And neither Tony Jones or Keandre Miller really did anything in this game to not let us feel like Kamara. There you go.
Kamara, right?
Exactly. So he should come back. And work out to a nice Kamara role there if they knew what was good for him. So so hopefully we see a lot of that usage there. And
backup role or third down or whatever, something to help out. But Kamara's a fullback.
Yeah, they'll spell him, but he should be ready to go. And he's fresh.
Yes,
he has no touches on him this season. No touches, so he's fresh. He could take 25 carries this first game.
Let's go. Let's get a fucking
absolutely. And he's not hurt.
Yeah.
He's not coming off injury or anything. He's
Exactly. That's the best
just
case
suspended.
scenario.
Absolutely. You just hope he's still in shape and wasn't back in Vegas getting himself in trouble eating and other kind of swinging at people over there again. Maybe too soon for that. All right, so we'll move on. Last little tidbit I have here on that kind of suspension Kamara news. Keep those eyes and ears out for Jameson Williams, man. So as we start getting into the bye weeks here in week 5 and 6, especially heading into week 5, maybe next week, kind of beat the waiver wire type of thing. Jameson Williams, if he's been dropped in any of your leagues because people have had other injuries and most leagues, you can't put a suspended player in your IR. So you're kind of have a dead roster spot if they've had to open up that roster spot and dropped him with the assumption they'll just go pick him back up. Maybe you can kind of sneak in there if you have a dead spot that you can turn over someone who's not producing and maybe throw Jameson Williams there. With that offense with Goff, he should be a nice weapon for that offense when he returns with his. Remember, he has Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill type speed. Let's just see if mentally he's there as far as his decision making, which obviously his off the field decision making, which got him into this mess, hasn't been good. But we'll see how his football decision making and learning of the playbook and what he's been doing off to the side. We'll see if that if he's come around on that. So he was actually able to now start participating in meetings and train off to the side, kind of like in a limited fashion, but he cannot fully practice at this point with the team. Right. So there we are. So I'll turn it over to you now. I'm sure people are done hearing me talk. So let's get into our next segment here with our top performers and give out our game balls for week 3. So go right ahead, Frank. It's all you.
All right. So let's go start off with the quarterbacks here this week. The number 1 spot, Justin Herbert, 40 for 47 with 405 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 29.3 fantasy points. And this is all half-point PPR scoring. Figure it's the most popular scoring out there. So,
well, on quarterbacks, did you do 6 point? For quarterbacks, it's not PPR or half PPR. It's 6 point or 4 point. Do you remember which one you selected on that?
Point.
Okay, I think it defaults if you didn't change the little setting. I think it defaults at 4. But just FYI, I don't mean to ruin your segment there. I apologize.
Then
I just want to make sure we're giving. I just want to make sure we gave out the correct. Well, it's not wrong. We just have to let the people know which scoring it is.
I don't know. It doesn't show me.
I got you right here. All right. So Tua Tagovailoa, 36.36 and 6 point per passing touchdown. And he scored 29.3 for Justin Herbert is the number 1 in 4 point at 29.3. So what did you say you had? Okay, so you're at 4 point. Yeah, so you're at 4 point. So there you go. I'll cut that section out. So just you could start it over. It's all good.
No, I don't have the right ones though.
No, you're good. Just go 4 point. If people play a lot of 4 point, they can make the little adjustment. It's only a couple points.
That makes no sense to me now. I'm done. No, anyways. Number 2, you already mentioned him. Tua Tagovailoa over there in Miami, throwing up the 70 plus points here. 23 for 26, 309 yards, 4 touchdowns, 28.3 half PPR, 4 point per touchdown scoring there,
and 36.36 and 6 point. That's how we'll do it. You say the 4 point, I got you with the 6 point. All right, go ahead.
There we go. Number 3, Lamar Jackson, 22 for 31. And they also had 202 yards rushing. He went 14 for 101 and 2 touchdowns, 28.818 fantasy points on that day. What'd you get, Ant?
Also 28.18 because he didn't have any passing touchdowns. So that's the same in 4 and 6 point.
Oh, there we go. Now
there it is.
Kirk Cousins here today. Also the number 4, 32 attempts for 50 catches. 50 attempts, 32 catches, 367 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 INT, went 25.68 fantasy points.
And 31.68 in 6 point.
There we go. And then we got Patrick Mahomes bringing it in at the end, 24 for 33, 272 yards and 3 touchdowns, 25.68.
And 31.68 in 6 point.
Yeah, I'm going to fix that one. I'm telling you. Yeah.
That's why I play 6 point. like those
Obviously,
points.
we're all excited for Tua and everything that was going on over there in Miami. I doubt they repeat that anytime soon, but uh, it's nice to be on having some of those guys on that team that were just going off in ridiculous amounts. Both him and Mostert, who I have pieces of both of those guys, very happy. So I was like, "This is crazy."
For sure. So who you giving out a game ball at the quarterback position?
Herbert, man, Herbert.
There
I
you go.
mean, the numbers: 405 yards, 3 touchdowns. It was just slinging it out there today. And I mean yesterday, and just Keenan Allen looked great. Yeah. After Mike Williams went down, I mean, even after having the player go down, they did well.
Absolutely. I'll give it to Tua, man, since you kind of left it there. I mean, Herbert's my boy. You know that. I have him in several leagues. He was just, to me, the steal of the draft this year, getting him in like the 6th, 7th round. Like, it's just a total steal.
Tua, yeah.
No, Herbert.
Oh, Herbert.
I'm still stuck on the Herbert side because that's who I wanted to give my game ball to. But since you gave your game ball to him, I'll go with Tua. Obviously, winning 70-20, you got to give a game ball to somebody that leads an offense to 70 points. Only the 4th time in history that an NFL team has scored 70 or more points in a game. Like you said, 23 completions on 26 attempts. That's just efficiency. Only 3 incomplete passes in that entire game. No rushes, no yards, so he's not having to scramble or do anything crazy, keeping him safe, which is his only the only reason we were kind of knocking him or having him fall to the 9th, 10th round was because everyone was afraid he was going to get a concussion. And like I said, all these other guys have concussions before he does. So I think we can put that to bed at this point. And again, and 6 point per passing touchdown, which is what I play the most of. 36.36 points, your number 1 quarterback of the week in that format. Again, 4 passing touchdowns, only 309 yards, and I just say that because he's thrown for 466 already this year. So Tua Tagovailoa, come get your game ball from us over here at Get Right Fantasy, man. So congratulations, way to run an offense, and everybody should be scared, except for my 3-0 Niners here. What's up, Tresner? Appreciate that comment. So let's move on, man. Let's see. Again, you guys got questions, man, get them in the chat. We're going to knock out a couple of these segments here, and then we'll get into the chat for any questions or anything you have. Otherwise, talk amongst yourselves, have a good time, and we'll keep going here. So go ahead.
I straightened it out, so I changed it over to 6 points passing touchdown over here. So
well, now you don't need to. Now we're doing running back, so you could stick with your half point per passing touchdown. Yeah. Or your half point PPR. So, which I think you already had, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, it shouldn't change anything for the running backs. Yeah.
Obviously, we were just talking about Miami. We're going to start off with Devon A-Chain. Going for 18 attempts, 203 yards.
Say that again?
Average 203 yards.
Damn. What a debut.
11.3 yard average, 2 touchdowns. He also had 4 targets, 4 receptions, 30 yards, and 2 touchdowns there.
Whew.
So 4 total touchdowns for the day, 49.3 fantasy points. Wow, right? That's crazy.
That's outrageous.
And
outrageous.
The other guy on the same team, also running back there, Raheem Mostert, going for 13 attempts, 82 yards. He got 3 touchdowns on the ground. Also receiving 7 for 7 of his receiving and 1 touchdown in the air. Also 3 touchdowns. 41.7 fantasy points. I mean, it's incredible numbers. Any good day, any day, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So then we got number 3, Kenneth Walker. He ends up going
KW the third.
Yeah, right. 18 and 97. 2 touchdowns. Also got 3 targets receiving. He caught all his passes, 59 yards. Ends up with 29.1 fantasy points. So even a 2 touchdown game looks really sad compared to the other guys right now. It's kind of crazy how far where they are. Zach Moss though, looking pretty good over there at Indy. Hopefully he shakes off that JT bug once he comes back or something. Who knows what'll happen, right? He's getting 30 attempts, 122 yards, and ended up going to targets. He got 3 targets, 2 catches, 23 yards, and 1 touchdown. At 21.5 fantasy points. So he's getting.
It's normally a great day, but kind of shadowed by Mostert and A-Chain though.
Right? Yeah, that's what
Kind
I'm
of makes
saying.
21
Normally,
points not even look that good. Like, oh, it's decent.
yeah,
Like, that's a great day.
yeah, that's an awesome day. Awesome day. And bringing it in the rear here, your boy Christian McCaffrey going for 18 attempts, 85 yards, and one TD, 5 for 5 on the receptions for 34 yards, and ends up with going with 20.4 fantasy points for the week. So yeah, I mean, great numbers. Obviously, just highlighted by Devon A. Chain and Raheem Mostert. Hopefully, you had them in your lineups and you guys benefited. I've seen some people have them on the bench.
Yeah, it happens. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So who you giving out? Who you giving out a game ball to here at the running back position?
Oh, the rookie man, Devon A. Chain.
Do it.
Come on,
Give him his chance, right?
solid, man. Yeah, that dude's solid. I actually started him, so I was ready for him to come and take a look see.
Oh, there you
Obviously, that
go.
one game is now a running back by committee now, so they're not going to bench Mostert. I don't think that they're going to give him all the touches. I think it's going to continue to split some carries and because they both. I mean, David Chain got 18 touches. He mostly 13 touches. I mean, obviously it goes a little bit to A Chain, but a little bit more to Mostert for the catches because he got 7 targets versus A Chain's 4 in receptions. So it kind of evens it out. So they're pretty much 50-50 over there, and I think it'll continue that way. And I think that the
Absolutely.
offense can feed them. I think that the offense. I mean, obviously this game's an exception, but I think that they could keep both of those guys getting touchdowns one way or another. And because I mean, they scored a lot of points. I mean, good
Exactly.
offense. That's what those are the kind of guys you want.
Exactly. So yeah. So game ball for me. I got to give it to my boy, man. CMC. Let's go. I'll give it to the number 5.5 PPR. Let's go. Niner gang, one of the top RBs still kicking. So let's keep that thing going, man. I wouldn't mind if they just, we saw what he's seen. Just put him on ice for the rest of the year. Let Elijah Mitchell just run out the ball over there. And let's just hopefully get to the playoffs here. And then we can take him out of the bubble wrap. But we're going to have to use him, man. The way we scheme him open there. Just a nice, efficient night. Again, nothing in comparison to the crazy games the guys kind of above him had, so to speak. But, we didn't really need to do much in our game either on that Thursday night. Seems like so long ago already. But yeah, so CMC, game ball, one of probably many this year. So I think I've already given him one this year already in just 3 weeks, but he's getting another one. So there we go. But not bad, man. My two running backs in my Dynasty League, CMC and Kenneth Walker, are here on the top 5. So not bad at all. I'll take it.
Nice.
All right. So let's move on, man. Keep you're killing it here in this segment, man. Go ahead.
So now we got
wide receivers.
Keenan Allen at number 1 spot this week. Went 20 targets, 18 receptions, 215 yards, 0 touchdowns. And he even had a fumble, but still ended up going 36.46 fantasy points on the day. So
and that was even more in full PPR, which in this case I have to mention because it's 45.46 points in full PPR because he had 18 catches.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Good numbers.
So there we go. So go ahead, man. Who you got number 2 on the list? PPR.
Number 2 is going to be Devontae Adams. I mean, hey, Jimmy G still feeding him the ball. Keep him getting the points coming. 20 targets, 13 receptions for 172 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Whew.
Nice, right?
Oh, going back to Keenan Allen, you forgot a throwing touchdown to Mike Williams.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Don't forget that.
I totally forgot it. It's not in the stat line.
Well, yeah, because it's not in quarterbacks. Yeah, because they're not going to give completion stats on receivers. But yeah, had to pull that one out of there. Yeah, 85. What was it? A 65-yard or 68-yard touchdown throw to Mike Williams. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, don't forget that.
I totally forgot about it. I did. I totally forgot.
It's all good. I got you. All right. So yeah. So where you have with Devontae?
Devontae ended up with 35.7 fantasy points on the day after the 172 and 2 touchdowns.
And then 42.2 in full PPR.
And then we're going with Tyreek Hill. Are you reading the 6 point? Is that what you're reading?
No, full PPR versus half PPR. So you got half PPR. I'm going to add full PPR when you're after you say your
Oh,
half
okay.
PPR.
Throw
I
me
got
off
you.
on that. Okay.
We're only in week 3, guys. We're still trying to work out our flow here. We got you.
All right. So
Go ahead.
Tyreek, 11 targets, 9 catches, 157 yards, and 1 touchdown, 26.2 fantasy points over there. Obviously, over there feasting over there in Miami. So nice, decent game. I mean, that's just standard basically right here, right?
Yeah, and then he didn't have to really throw. He caught that big touchdown early. What was it, like a 54-yard touchdown
Yeah.
pass? And basically his day was over almost kind of after that. A lot of other, I mean, not basically over. He still had, 8 other catches in that game for 157 yards, but they really didn't even need to use them. And that was with no Jalen Waddle. So
Yeah.
30.7 full PPR points on that one with those 9 catches. So
What a nice game, right? What a nice game.
absolutely. So go ahead.
So we're bringing
Number 4.
Adam Thielen here at number 4 spot. 14 targets, 11 receptions, 145 yards, and a TD. Also 26 fantasy points, even here, half point PPR.
And 31.5 in full PPR. And full PPR, he actually bumped up to the number 3 wide receiver ahead of Hill and
Oh, really?
Jefferson in that full PPR. Yeah.
Moving around there.
There you
And
go.
the last but not least, JJ Jettis, Justin Jefferson here.
Yeah.
For 13 targets, 7 receptions, 149 yards, and a touchdown. Another guy that's just like set it and forget it, 24.4 fantasy points here. And I want to give the shout out and game ball. I'm going to give it to this guy here next. Who I'm just going to give you the number 6 spot. 7 targets, 5 catches, 145 yards, and 1 TD. Who's continued to do it over there. Waiver wire pickup, Tank
In
Dell.
Houston? Are you
Yeah.
doing it? Let's
Yeah, Tank
go.
Dell. Where pick up, give him the game ball. 23 fantasy points even. How much did you get on the full PPR?
25.5. He was number
Nice.
7 in full PPR.
Solid day. Solid day. He's just showing that he can do it. Him and Nico Collins are doing well over there. I like Tank Dell. One of the guys that I have on one of my teams, and I'm rooting for him. I think we're gonna be starting him pretty soon, at least in flex.
Absolutely. There you go. Game ball for me, man. It's hard here. A lot of these names here, man. But how do I not give it to Keenan Allen, man? You got a throwing touchdown. You're getting 20 targets, 18 freaking catches. Like there's guys in the NFL that don't even have 18 catches in all 3 weeks that play every
Right.
snap, and he did that in one game. Obviously, the big injury to Mike Will. So as long as he stays healthy, man, he should see a heavy dose of targets. Herbert's going to lean on him, and just the offense in general. If they're letting him throw passes too, like they're letting their playmaker go to work. He's finally healthy after a couple, being banged up for a couple weeks or a couple last couple seasons, kind of in and out. So hopefully he can, stay on this trajectory. And shout out to my Herbert Allen stack in our home league, doing things over there. So again, little bias love for that one. So appreciate you, Keenan, for keep putting up those points, man. So there you go. So yeah, rounded off, man. Let's go with tight ends.
Oh yeah, no, I was just trying to read through the comments here, try to catch up on some of these.
Oh, it's okay. I got it marked. Yeah, I got it kind of marked here. I have a couple I'm gonna go to in the chat. So hang in there, guys.
There's a lot of conversation going on and whatnot. But hey, this is exciting. We got a rookie leading the way here.
Let's go.
In Sam Laporta, 11 targets, 8 receptions, 84 yards, and the touchdown. Ends up getting 18.5 fantasy points, 80.4. I'm sorry, over there in the winning effort there, 20-6 against Atlanta. Right, what a nice game, right? Sam Laporta just showing up, dude. Doing the tight end things that we kind of drafted a late as a lottery ticket, and hopefully it pays out, man. He's doing some good things now. Better than the other guy that I have, so I'm not gonna mention him. So, but you never know. Still holding out hope. Holding out. The number 2, Travis Kelce, 8 for 7, 69 yards and a touchdown with the sighting of Taylor Swift over there, the Swifties. So doing some bumps over there with the family. 16.4 fantasy points. They're back. Over here, KC's just doing their KC things now. So they look really good. I think now that Kelsey's full on healthy, he's getting his touchdowns, literally one per week. So he's solid. Number 3 here, Pharaoh Brown, comes out of nowhere, 2 for 2, 71 yards and a touchdown. I mean, I'm not somebody that you want to be too concerned about, but you never know. over there in the Jets. They got to throw to somebody. I don't know. I wouldn't touch him. 14.1 fantasy points, and last but not least is Donald Parham Jr. He ends up going for 2 for 2 for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns over there. It's 2 touchdowns. That's just uh, just
That'll do
killing
it
it.
at the
I mean,
tight end position.
yeah, it's 4 yards. I'm sorry, I said 100 yards. It's actually 4 yards. 2 catches, 4 yards, 2 touchdowns. Honorable mention, your guy George Kittle, or what? 9 for 7 for 90 yards.
There you go. Throw him in there.
Yeah,
It's
well,
rough at
my
the
guy.
tight end position. I'm surprised you were able to find 5.
3 and 41 and a touchdown. Yeah, no, it's rough. I mean, those are the major double digit guys. Everybody else is single digits and whatnot. So I mean, that's what you need. Some of these top guys and Kelsey, even help me out over here and the Baltimore tight end Andrews is not up here
Andrew.
either, which is kind of crazy. So it happens.
It is. It does. So there we go.
Because it's already 3 games that he's missed and just is not doing well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just one game that we had out of him. That's kind of sucks.
Absolutely. Who are you giving your game ball out to?
Let's give it to the rookie, man. Why not?
I'm gonna have to double down with you then. That's who I'm going with, man.
Yeah, Kelsey doesn't need no game.
Hey, I've started them all 3 weeks out of the gate. Started them all 3 weeks in our main home league. Somewhat high buy-in, $100 buy-in for those that want to know. Just so you guys know, I put my money where my mouth is. Obviously, you guys know Classic Mike's been all over Laporta. He kind of, sitting here talking with Classic all the time, kind of started buying into the juice. And by the time it got to our real drafts, I went later great. Laporta's still sitting there super late. When I'm drafting with Classic Mike, he's taking him in like the 8th round. In our draft, he was sitting around at like the 12th round. Had to snatch him up in at least 5 catches in every game. And now sees 8 catches on 11 targets. He's definitely part of this offense, just keeps growing every week, finds the end zone finally. It was kind of a big, busted like kind of play, but even if you take that play away, still, great usage there. So there you go. So let's see. So let's get to the chat. Again, if you guys got questions or comments, throw them in there. We'll try to pop around and see what we can get. We got EK Price in here, who I think was referred over to us by Spoiler Kings, man. So we appreciate that. Full PPR, 12-man. He says, I got Tua, Adams, Keenan, Sanders, Najee, Fairmouth, Pittman. He has Herbert, Fields, Josh Kelly, Matt Breida, Jones. Are we content with this team? I'd like to move Najee as far as your starting lineup goes there. Little weak in my opinion. I'm not the biggest Pittman fan either, but he's been putting up points, so I can't argue with having him in there now. I'm definitely taking the L. Yeah, definitely taking the L on that one. So I'll take that. Fields, I think you got to kind of just hold. At least you have Tua there. Obviously drafted Fields ahead of Tua, and Tua has that top spot now until he shows you any different. But if you could package like Najee and Fields and, try to trade up to maybe Eckler or, someone like that right now, maybe the Eckler owner also is dealing with one of these quarterback injuries or something like that. Maybe you have an opportunity to trade up and out of that. Matt Breida, Tony Jones, I think those are just kind of open roster spots. So anyone on the waiver that interests you, you can easily drop those guys and bring them back. So not necessarily content. I'd be looking to continue to kind of do stuff, but you do have a great core with Tua, Adams, Keenan. Sanders is like an RB2, so you're kind of just missing like a high-end RB2, someone just a little more set and forget than Sanders, in my opinion. What do you think about this team?
I think he's going to have to move Pittman while you can to get a better running back.
Okay.
Because I agree with you. Sanders is an RB2. Najee, I really don't care for. Khalil Herbert's in trouble. What do you got? Breida and Jones are just handcuff kind of guys, waiting for somebody to go down because they will get opportunity. But that's, you're waiting. They're not going to stand alone and have you pop them in on a bye week even right now, and you wouldn't be happy with them. So yeah, they're just droppables or whatever.
Okay. He said he actually drafted Chubb and his team was looking great, but obviously with Chubb going down, so that makes sense why he doesn't have that RB1.
That RB1. Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah, we're all there, man. I'm there.
I'm there. I got some of that too.
I'm starting Demont and P Ryan, or I didn't even get to start P Ryan. I ended up, I think I threw Jerick McKinnon or somebody else in there this week. It was pretty rough. Maybe Gainwell or someone like that didn't do too well. I still won the game just because I went wide receiver heavy and my wide receivers popped off. I think I had Cooper and Devontae and a couple other folks that kind of popped off. But yeah, so he's saying, yeah, his running backs are shot. So, there we go.
He said, I think I could be fine until Saquon comes back.
Oh, and he has Saquon?
With the rest of the offense having Breida and Sanders should be fine.
Okay, I see you there, EK. Yeah, hopefully hit that subscribe button for us too, man. We're sorry we took a little while to get to the chat, but we wanted to bang through those segments first, and then get to our chat
Brandon
here.
So, here for Spoilers Kings.
Oh, it was Brandon. That I thought I saw the comment. I wasn't sure who it was. So okay, what's up, Brandon? I appreciate Spoiler Kings for sending them over here. We got Brooks in the house saying, "What up?" Oh,
he was saying, "Drop Tank and
I was like, I have my order. I've been working on this that whole time you were doing your segment. So I'm like, boom, I got where we're going. So Brooks says, what up, Rasta? I got both A-Chain and QJ on his bench, so he's already beat the waiver wire here. He also has two, and he's also 2 players over the roster limit, so he has to drop one of A-Chain, QJ, Tank Bisbee, Jalen Warren, Khalil Herbert, and Zay Jones. Whew, that is tough. I could tell you've been hanging out here at Get Right Fantasy, man. You got the bench of all benches over here. For me, it's hard to drop 2. If I had to drop 1, to me, Zay Jones is kind of the name that sticks out right away. Khalil Herbert would almost be the next one just because I'd rather roster Bigsby and Warren, and if your starters are good, I think Khalil Herbert's the only one where his stock is kind of going down, whereas Jalen Warren or Bigsby's has like the potential to go up, and Warren's is actually going up right now. So that's just the only kind of aspect I have on it. But as you know, you've been watching us for years. Not easy. To me, Zay Jones is the easy one per se. But honestly, I'm trying to take Khalil Herbert, Zay Jones, and maybe somebody else, Tank Bigsby or something, and literally just do like a 3-for-1. Like if you lose the trade, it's okay. Make other people have the decision where they need to force drop people that someone could potentially break up, because sometimes people make a mistake and you might get a better, handcuff position instead of one of these guys. But I'm ultimately, instead of just dropping people and giving an opportunity to pick them up off waivers for free, I would love to just do like a 3-for-1 trade, just to make it feel like you're not just giving people guys and saving them from a bad draft just because of roster limits. That's just my personal opinion. What do you think about that?
No, yeah, you're always willing to package some guys up, and honestly, it's not a bad way to go about it, because if you are over the roster limits, you need to get your numbers down. You can just ship these 3 guys off, and as an entity, the point is why give them away for free, right? I mean, I agree with you there. If you could somehow package them for one guy that's a little bit better than these guys, there you go. You clean up your roster, and you get a guy that's in a little bit of upgrade. However, it's just hard to do. I think Rasta is just always willing to put in that extra effort. I think you can too, Brooks.
For sure. And we got a couple of people chiming in on that. Ron saying Zay Jones. So to me, that was the one that just kind of stuck out right away. Like he was getting the target share and this and that. And maybe that's why, Trevor Lawrence didn't look, too great with having Zay out this week. But, Christian Kirk, who told you guys to start, was able to save his day with the touchdown. Wasn't looking great until then. We have Eli now saying drop Tank and Khalil. I don't mind that either, because it's definitely Etienne's job over there, but just Bigsby's just a big time handcuff. He even had a touchdown this week as well. And Ron saying, Tank and Zay, and, got a couple other people, he's saying Herbert said he's going to lose his job.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. So there you go. We have, let's see, where was the next one I had? Oh, there it is. Yep, for Brandon. Saying that he got sent over here by Spoiler King. So again, we appreciate that. Hopefully you subscribe here to us, and we'll catch you on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. So there we go. And
so there you go. I picked up the A-Chain because of y'all, but he was on my bench. That's tough. I started the guy. That big old 51 points just sitting on my bench.
Yeah, and look at Ron said he's only started in 6% of leagues. Or not? Is that? Yeah, so 6% of leagues. So Frank was part of that 6%. So good stuff there. So let's see. What else do we have here? A couple people mentioning trades, kind of talking about them. So, here we go. We have Robert Henry in the house. What's up, man? It's a new name for me, so hopefully you're still watching and didn't lose us while we're doing our little breakdown segments there. But we always get to our questions here in the chat. Just hang around with us for a little bit. So he says, would you trade Jamar Chase, Damian Pierce, and Garrett Wilson for Bijan and Amon-Ra St. Brown? I don't think I can do it after what we've seen tonight with Jamar Chase. Like, we already knew that was there. What was it, 12 catches, 15 targets or something like that?
Chase had a get right game.
Exactly. I mean, if you really need to, like, to me, the fairer trade is Jamar Chase for Bijan and Amon-Ra. Like, if you wanted to go maybe Chase and Wilson for Bijan and Amon-Ra. But I mean, you could have had you could have got Bijan if you wanted instead of Chase. So to me, he needs to pay, a little more for that. Obviously, he probably got Bijan in the first, came back around, got Amon-Ra St. Brown in the second.
Yeah, that's like 1-2 combo right there.
Yeah, so, and then obviously he probably went Chase and had Wilson fall to him there. And you have to put Pierce in there to make that happen. So yeah, I mean, maybe if you want to go Chase and Pierce for Bijan and St. Brown, I could get behind that. Obviously, Garrett Wilson and Pierce for Bijan would be ideal. Like, that'd be the ideal. I don't think that'll get it done, but that would be ideal. But I don't think you can get rid of Chase, man.
Done. Dude, what are you going to get out of Garrett Wilson now? He's just a name.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not giving up Chase, so I'd rather keep Wilson and not have to give up Chase. But it would be nice to get out of Pierce. So it's a little tough. Really depends on the full roster there. If you're literally dying at running back, that might be something you have to do. Because again, we all understand the running back landscape right now. So. But yeah, for me, I'm holding on to Chase, and I think Pierce has some better days ahead.
Right.
You're good on that? Anything else to add?
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead.
This is Brandon Davis. I've never seen a football score of 70 points. Yeah, I don't think I've seen one either.
Yeah, Ron said no one here was alive the last time it even happened. So.
yeah, exactly. Which is a good observation, though. We just got to witness something that probably won't happen again for another 100 years or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You're not going to get another Brady anytime soon. I tell you that.
Right. Eli's saying he likes the Bijan and St. Brown side. You're giving Jamar, who's great, of course, but Damien's getting less than 50% of that backfield and like a three-way split with Dar Goombawale even getting some work somehow. And Garrett Wilson does look miserable. Let's just make a correction there. Garrett Wilson doesn't look miserable. Zach Wilson looks miserable.
Yeah.
Which is kind of forcing Garrett Wilson to look miserable. And if you guys have been hearing us, obviously, and everyone's been preaching it, try to trade Wilson.
He had a better quarterback
if you can. But
yeah,
I would just, again, and that's why you want to hold on, because if Zach Wilson gets too bad, they'll either make a trade or bring someone out of, somewhere, and where he might have a little better, option there. Maybe they make a trade for someone like a Mike White and bring him back from the Dolphins. Maybe they make a trade for him to get him back in there since he's familiar with the offense already and can, he was fine with Garrett Wilson last year when he played. So there we go. What else we got in here in the chat? Kind of talking about them. So I didn't quite get this far, and I think some stuff added here. Talking about Swift. They're just having a good time here in the chat.
Yeah, this is funny. That wasn't Keenan Allen. That was Randy Moss in the Keenan Allen costume. That's funny.
Okay. Let's see what else we got. They're still talking about the drop. He said he updated it and he has Marvin Mims on that roster as well too. So Zay Jones and Marvin Mims. So would you drop Marvin Mims and Zay Jones versus Tank or one of these, or Khalil, or?
Yeah, Mims actually had a decent game.
Yeah, I still think they actually scripted a lot for Sutton. I just, that Denver offense, he could pop. It's going to be hard to know when to start him exactly.
Yeah.
So I could see dropping Mims and Zay just to keep, just the way running backs are going, just they're more valuable. So just keep them, in my opinion. But again, I'd still try to work out trades. Maybe if you want to trade A-Chain, he's the hot ad right now. So I like packaging, me, I like packaging those hot waiver wire ads up to get a struggling, someone like a Eckler or someone like that. So there we go. And a new guy. Yeah, and a new name. What's up, man?
What's up, man? So he's asking trade Jalen Hurts, Goddard, and Javonte Williams for Tua and James Cook. Have Tyreek too. I would do that.
Ooh. I think I would too.
Because you're
I'll take
really
the
just
Tua and
moving
James Cook.
Jalen Hurts. You're really moving James Hurts and Tua for James Cook. So Javonte Williams is not doing that great. Goddard has decent games here and there. He's up. He's
Yeah,
going to be
he's
up.
a tight end. They're kind of just throw-ins at
You
this
just want to
point.
get your stack. You want to get your Tua Tyreek stack, and you're going to be solid.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. And just remember too, the Eagles have a very, very tough schedule, and I think that's why they're kind of like struggling, if you want to call it struggling. They're not putting up like completely asinine points. Whereas I want a piece of the offense as far as fantasy goes. Like the Eagles are great, like a real football team, because they're just going to do what they need to win, have a good defense. They're just going to play football and bang out W's how they can. Whereas the Dolphins are putting up 70 points on people. They're not doing all the time, but they have that kind of firepower, and that's just how their team's built. So I'll take a piece of that, in my opinion. So like you said, it's kind of just hurts for Tua and James Cook if you kind of want to look at it like that. You got Devontae Williams in there. I want maybe another little piece if you can, just because Hurts is worth that. I think almost on his own, Hurts for Tua and James Cook. But if you had to throw in Goddard and Javonte, it is a little much, but I think I'd still do it. Just make sure you still have a backup. But yeah,
let's move on.
It's tough though, man. It's hard to get rid of Hurts though.
It must be new for sure.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Quick question: should I try and trade Kamara for JT?
I'm not personally.
Kamara just got back from his suspension, so
and he's not coming off injury.
I'm not sure what you're going to get for JT because he's not playing yet and hasn't played and was supposedly still injured. But who knows what he does?
You're hoping for a trade, and you're hoping he goes somewhere where he's going to be more efficient. But we've seen what Zach Moss has been doing behind this line, or just on this team. So you would have to assume if JT was plugged in there instead of Moss, he'd be doing just as well. So I don't hate it. But I think I'd still just take my chances with Kamara.
Yeah.
Oh, he's saying, should I try and trade for Kamara or GT? Then the answer is yes. Yeah. I had to reread that. I thought he said, should I trade Kamara for JT or something like that? But yeah, Ron says, yeah, he's always going to say that. So in that case, trade for Kamara then is what he's saying, because Kamara's not hurt. He was just suspended. So there we go. So what else do we have here? Any other questions you see in there?
I'm trying to get to that.
Chat's popping off tonight.
These guys are just having a good old time. Hey, we appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah, for sure. That's what we're here for.
Give us some numbers here. They're just really having a good talking to about some of the guys. Honestly, I don't see any other.
Yeah, I think we got to everybody.
He's like, and Goddard has top 5 tight end upside.
Yeah,
so,
but
let's just go to the waiver.
Ron, I'm a top 5 tight end because I could go in. I mean, if somebody's on the top 5 and they have 2 catches for 4 yards and 2 touchdowns, and that makes them the tight end 4, like, bro, it's just an awful position. Like, I'm just saying. Anyway, we can move on. Just, like, I'm almost a top 5 tight end from my seat right here.
So we can just do our waiver wire ads and close up the show here tonight.
Yeah, let's do it.
The main ones, obviously, Devon A-Chain, I think, number 1 waiver wire ad. It's obvious. Go get him. He wasn't that how much highly owned, or obviously that even less highly started. Devon A-Chain, but he did go for 203 yards on 18 carries. He also caught 4 for 4 targets and an additional 30 receiving yards, and scored a total of 4 touchdowns there this week. So
has to be rostered.
That dude's got to be rostered. They're not going to go away from that. Like, they're going to give them this opportunities.
47% rostered on Sleeper. I'm not sure what his roster is on Yahoo.
Yeah, but he's a must add, must roster, must have running back here at this time. So definitely the number 1 waiver wire ad having it's 41% Yahoo, 16% ESPN. I'm not sure what the Sleeper one is though, but definitely number 1. Number 2 for me is Tank Dell. The rookie-led Texans targets in each of the first 2 starts, and he's getting some nice target shares of 22%, 3.5 yards per route. Run across his last 2 games are 5 of 7, 145 yards and a touchdown. So another guy that I've been looking to keep on the roster. I actually already have him in one or two teams. So definitely, we're just kind of waiting for it to pop off and get just show what he can do.
Yep.
That's definitely a guy I want to have on my team to pick a waiver wire add on. Who do you got at? Got
And
two there.
just adding on to that, he is 48% rostered in Sleeper right now. On Yahoo, he is 32% rostered. That's Tank Dill. If you can't find Tank Dill, his name is actually Nathaniel Dill, depending on what platform you're playing. So make sure you search for both. And if you see it one or the other, just understand that that is the same guy, Tank Dill and Nathaniel Dill. So just a little PSA announcement there.
Right, that'll
As
jack
far
some
as
people up, man. I'm telling you.
oh yeah, no, seriously. So that's how it is. So let's see here. As far as so you got rid of that, I will go with the other low hanging fruit. Thanks for the little alley oop. I'll switch over
Oh,
to the
yeah,
wide
gotta
receiver
help you out.
position. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. You know, throw each other lobs over here. That's what we do. Quentin Johnston, waiver wire ad here this week. If he's not already rostered, 51%. So he's almost at that 65% threshold that we try to recommend here. So 51% here on Sleeper. I didn't look up
32% on Yahoo,
there you
47%
go.
on ESPN.
Boom. There you go, Frank. Now we're on it. So make sure you go check him out. Now, to me, here's the thing between him and Josh Palmer. Josh Palmer is sitting here at 5% rostered on Sleeper. So definite less interest there. And I don't know if you have the Yahoo numbers there for Palmer. Might be even lower. Let's see here. Just trying to
I got it. Give me a second.
5% on Yahoo.
2% Yahoo, 1% ESPN.
Okay, mine says 5, but maybe we're looking on a
Oh,
different
okay,
thing.
well, whatever. Low, very low numbers.
Yes, either way, he's available.
Yeah.
So if you need somebody like next week, I think the play is Palmer. You know, we did see coach come out and say, you know, Quinn Johnson is going to get increased volume, this and that. But Palmer was clearly working ahead of him. He's been ahead of him all off season. If you heard the reports coming out of camp, heading into week 1, the snap shares, everything tells you that Josh Palmer is the number 3 there. Obviously, we kind of expected one of either Allen or Mike Williams, mostly Mike Williams, which why he was faded so much in drafts. Was most likely going to be the one, but he was dealing with the back. We didn't know it was going to be a knee. So for me, again, if you need somebody kind of short term, maybe Josh Palmer. But if you're kind of looking for the long term, if you just need someone to stash on your bench, then I'm paying, for Quentin Johnston. And when it comes to, fab budget, this isn't somebody, none of these guys. Honestly, I don't think anybody's here like Jerome Ford was, last week or, anyone like that
No,
where we're
there's no
emptying.
clear dump on
Yeah,
my
you're
list.
not emptying you're not emptying your fab budget on any of these guys. Really, they're more kind of long term, bench stash, type guys that just need to be rostered. A Chain, maybe you can go out and start him again because there is actual opportunity where I think he is flexible
Yeah,
week
that
to
all
week.
happened the first couple weeks. That was it. Like right now,
Right.
it's just guys to shore up your teams with.
Yeah. Now you're just kind of if you're looking for someone to drop and fill your spot. So the rest of my list is more kind of guys like that. So if you want, I can kind of get into them unless you have any other kind of like big time waiver ads or go ahead. I'll volley it back
Mine
to you.
are exactly what you were just saying. Just kind of guys that you want to have rostered, people that you need to have as backups or whatever handcuffs right now at this point. Nobody's out there that's just standing out there that other than Devon A Chain. That if you don't have him, he's probably the number 1 ad and even a deeper leagues Tank Dell even what I mean like he might be still a wide receiver 3 or a flex play for most guys if he starts or just to have that. But Roshan Johnson is the guy that I've been looking at still after a terrible game over there, rushed 8 times for 38 yards, and still got both his catches for 11 yards, but just sitting over there in Chicago, hopefully better days for them, so that he could have a better game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Luke Musgrave there, a tight end over at Green Bay. I'm liking, Love over there. He's doing some things. He had a 17-point comeback, highest comeback in fourth quarter in Green Bay history, which is crazy on his first game outing at home. Good for him, right? But Luke
Mm-hmm.
Musgrave's doing cut 8 targets, 49 yards. So if you're hurting for tight end or just need somebody that has an opportunity maybe to get that touchdown for you, then you get a decent game as well as Josh Dobbs. He had Romeo Dobbs. I'm sorry, had a pretty decent game coming up. He's still coming back. Another guy that you want to keep an eye on. We've been talking about him. He just had an off game, one day, but now he's 5 for 12, 73 yards, and he got the touchdown this week. I like having him on there. He's only 41% on Yahoo and 27% on ESPN. Um, so definitely somebody as a wide receiver 3 to have on there. Could even work up into a wide receiver 2 role, hopefully, as time goes on here in the season. Those are basically the ones that I wanted to point out.
Okay. I have
Oh,
a couple here.
Tajay
Oh,
Spears.
go ahead.
But I mean, he only got 6 yards for 6 yards on 4 carries, but definitely a handcuff to Derrick Henry. Again, we were just talking guys that are just you just need to kind of have if you can
Yeah,
handcuff them. If you don't have a better thing to do with your roster spot and somebody's not producing, why not go get some of these hopefuls or handcuffs to kind of you know hopefully turn it into a Jerome Ford or Devon A chain that you already have on your roster.
absolutely. A couple of those must roster handcuff type running backs that you want to make sure, or as you're combing the wire, um, if you have a guy that's ruled out and you're able to put him in your IR spot, and instead of just leaving that spot empty, just take a shot on some of these type of guys, just in case something happens. You already have beat everyone to the punch, like Brooks was saying with Quentin Johnston and Devon A. Chain. So one of those guys I have on my list is the guy backing up the running back 1 in Elijah Mitchell. Only had one PPR fantasy point in week 1. Didn't even see the field week 2. Put up a nice goose egg. I think he was dropped in a lot of leagues after that, especially with all the running backs going down. I assume people just were like, okay, he's someone I could drop. With CMC looking the way he does, Kyle Shanahan was making an effort to make sure they worked him in this week, especially on a short week. Kind of had a feeling that he would get some work. Was able to get 11 carries, 42 yards, 3.82 average. So that's definitely, respectable. Was targeted in the passing game as well. 3 targets, 3 catches, only 2 yards, but the catches are still there. Scored 7.4 fantasy points. So I don't think he's quite flexible at this point until, or if it becomes more of like a split, or if the Niners do get up and he is able to be their kind of like clock killer at the end of the games to keep McCaffrey from taking unnecessary, workload. And to me, again, if anything were to happen to CMC, he's plug and play. Like this guy was a league winner a couple years ago. So to me, he should be rostered sitting at only 46% here on Sleeper. And I apologize, I don't have the Yahoo number here ahead of me. Another guy I have on that list and is kind of almost getting flexible himself. We've been talking about him a lot. Jaylen Warren. He's right at that threshold, 63% rostered right now. Just every week looks like he's starting to get more and more. 3 carries, 6 carries, now 8 carries. Snaps went from 40% to 43% to 45%. This is a Mike Tomlin offense that's been basically a one-back system for 10, 12 years or something that he's been there. And getting the passing game work. We all thought Najee was getting it all the volume. But even week 1, he had 5 catches on 6 targets. Week 2, 4 catches on 6 targets. Week 3, he had the most carries, only 3 catches on 4 targets, but is still, seeing that passing game role as well. Like we said, if anything were to happen with Najee, he's going to be, right in there, and I'd actually feel more comfortable starting him. I think his running style benefits that Steelers offensive line and just that offense in general. Just looks like he pops off the screen every time he gets the ball, and it looks like Najee's kind of running in mud every time he gets the ball. So there could be a change coming. Could happen sooner than later, but he's definitely someone, if he's sitting out there, again, in these 30, what is that, 37% of leagues, those guys he needs to be rostered there just in case, again, anything happens to Najee. Another guy I have on my list here, Zach Charbonnet. Looked really good this weekend. His role is kind of increasing, but again, Ken Walker finished as a top 5 back as well. We all know Pete Carroll loves to run the ball. He's coming off 9 carries for 46 yards. That's a 5.11 yards per carry. Did get 2 targets, caught one of them for -1 yard. So nothing too great there as far as that goes. But again, snap share is going from 21-26 to 43% here. So again, just someone that you want to have on your bench. I'm sure you guys all remember him trucking that guy like right at the goal line. just literally lit that DB up and he went flying backwards. So he has power. Again, sitting at 6'1", 214 pounds. He is that prototypical running back. And remember, we were all scared he was going to come in and have a 50-50 split with Ken Walker, but whatever it's done, it lit a fire under Ken Walker's you know what. So he seems to be playing out of his mind right now. But this could be a potent backfield, but definitely somebody like Elijah Mitchell and Devon Achane, or Devon Achane for Raheem Mostert if he went down. But again, if the guys go down ahead of him, these are the guys you want to have. Another guy who's just kind of like flexible, Jerick McKinnon. I just think he needs to be rostered. He's sitting at 54%. Usually he picks up, at the end of the year. He did flash here against Chicago with the two receiving touchdowns. We know he's the third down back there.
I picked him up.
Mahomes loves him.
Yeah.
I'll just spot start him if I need somebody as bye weeks come up. Like he's part of a high powered offense. He may give you a dud. Yeah, he may give you a dud. He's not an every week starter, but if you're in a pinch, like he's someone I just feel comfortable, throwing out there.
If KC's rolling, he'll get this touchdown too.
Yeah, exactly. Or if they find themselves in a close game, he'll be worked in if they, and again, they really just pass anyway. So there you go. You already mentioned Roshan, so I won't go there. You mentioned Tajay Spears. Did you mention your boy Tutu Atwell officially here?
Oh, no. We got to talk about Tutu.
Okay, so yeah, Tutu Atwell, man. He's 8 targets, 9 targets, 9 targets, 6 catches, 7 catches, only 4 catches, but these last 4 catches went for 50 and a touchdown. He scored 17.9 week 1, 15.2 week 2, again against the Niners, and then just tonight 17.2. So just a model of consistency there. He is right now. I don't have it on here.
Yahoo, 58% ESPN.
Thank you. As far as percentage there,
I'm not sure what Sleeper is at.
Sleeper looks like he's at 66% now. I think that's literally changed since we've been on the stream because I think he was 64 when I first pulled this off. So remember, not everybody has waivers. Some people have open waivers. So maybe after this big game tonight, people have been picking him up in some of those leagues that have open free agency. Yeah. So there you go. The last guy I want to mention here, and we'll get the heck out of here, is going to be DJ Chark. He came back, a guy you guys know all offseason I've been drafting, been dealing with a hamstring and everything like that. Made his season debut last week. They kind of just had him on the field for 62% of the snaps. Had only 1 target, 1 catch for 15 yards. This week comes out, plays 94% of the snaps, sees 11 targets, 4 catches, 86 yards and a touchdown. He just looked good. Every time he was getting the ball, he looks pumped up. He looks re-energized. I'm very happy I have him. I don't know when exactly I may start him, but as bye weeks and stuff are coming up, he's definitely somebody I would feel comfortable throwing in my lineup and seeing what you get, and has some decent matchups coming up against Minnesota, Detroit, Miami, which is going to be a shootout, then week 7 bye, gets Houston, Indy, Chicago, and then finally faces like a tough defense here in Dallas in week 11 already. Then it gets Tennessee, Tampa Bay, New Orleans to round out the fantasy season. Yeah, and his playoff schedule is home against Atlanta, home against Green Bay, and at Jacksonville, week 17. So again, just a kind of snapshot ahead. He's somebody that, again, any given week, you just need to throw a wide receiver in there. Somebody gets a concussion or banged up, last minute scratch, throw DJ Chark in there, and he's a big play type guy. See what happens. So there you go. That wraps up my waiver wire ads and kind of must roster handcuff type guys.
Yeah, not too much on the waiver wire today.
Yeah, kind of quiet waiver wire week. Nothing too exciting, which is kind of good. It's kind of good sometimes.
Not too many major injuries is usually what happens. Usually when somebody goes down, it gives the opportunity to the next man up. So
exactly.
Or because all the breakouts already have happened, like Puka and Atwell and So yeah, good week though.
Exactly. So shout out to Cal Vista in here saying what's up to the chat. I think he might have said what's up to us as well. We have the Smitty in the house saying what should I do with Nico Collins? Just hold him, stash him. He's good. You can feel free kind of starting him each week. Tinkdale kind of just had himself a week. I'd like to see Collins' snap share kind of go up. I don't know why he's not playing that many snaps, interestingly enough, but he's still, like, if you go watch the All-22, he's still getting open on routes. Like, he still looks really good as far as what he's putting on tape. I like CJ Stroud's, progression as he continues to gain his experience and what he's throwing for. Again, he's already had a 300-yard passing game. I think, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, and don't be surprised if we're not talking about John Mechie here coming up soon. And we may say, Houston might, maybe not quite this year, but next year, all three of those guys may be drafted, fairly high, depending on how they finish out. So
he says, I have Evans, Ayuk, DK, and Nico. What running back should I go for?
If you're trying to trade one of those guys, it's hard to kind of say with that. I mean, if you can get someone like Kamara, Ron's going to disagree, but I like going after someone like Eckler, Aaron Jones, something like that. I think that might be more of like a JT if you want to go down that road. Those are the type of guys I'm looking to get that are available right now. The problem is everyone's looking for running backs and no one's really ready to give them up. So, and everyone kind of went wide receiver so everyone's trying to trade their wide receivers right now for running backs, but the people who drafted the running backs drafted them for a reason. The people that drafted the wide receivers were thinking they could just trade for running backs later, and it's not quite happening that way because of all the injuries that have happened. So the running backs that are available and even doing well, like your Zach Mosses and stuff, they just don't have that name value to really get anything, kind of in return for that. So, is what it is. So he already has Kamara. Oh, then you're fine. You'll be fine if you already got
Kamara. What are you doing? Yeah.
So yeah, you're good. You're good.
So he said, Tingley said, hey,
what's up, man?
Pick a Palmer or Dell? Dell, then Palmer.
I think I'm going to go Dell and Palmer in that order. Yeah. So there you go. Hopefully hit that subscribe button for us, man. We'd appreciate it. If you're already subscribed, hit that like button for us. So who else we got here? We got Tycoon in the house. What up, Tycoon? How's it going, my brother? Always good to have you here. Brooks was sorry, Brooks. I think
Cat is in here.
Oh, Smoking a Cat. What's up, man?
For rest of the seasons, Burrow, Jacobs, Kyron, and London, or Josh Allen, Debo, and Charbonnet.
Depending on what you need, but to me it's Allen, Debo, and Sharps. So
yeah, if I have to pick a side.
Well, you do. That's the question. That's the point here. Gun to your head.
Yeah, Allen, Debo, and Charbonnet. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you could take Allen, Debo, and Sharps, and even if you don't really need them, like you could just take Josh Allen and turn that into almost a better package than what you traded it for.
London's going to be hit and miss going forward.
And I think Debo's fine. I mean, he had a good game because Ayuk was out, of course, but he'll have some up and down games, but he's someone I feel comfortable starting every week.
I mean, Burrows, I think they got to get right game. He's straightened out. There
you go. So, yeah. We have Wyatt Dunn in the house. What's up, man? I think I remember you being in here before. He says 12-team PPR, Josh Allen, Diggs. Got that stack. I like it. Jamar Chase, too. Dang. Keeper league or what? Pollard, Kyron, DJ Moore, Ferguson. His bench is Roshan, Bobby Trees, Gainwell, Josh Reynolds, who had a dud week this week. That was kind of crazy. I don't think he even saw a target after his two big, week 1 and week 2. Has Kenny Drake, Higbee. Any advice there? And a 12-team PPR, and you're sitting with Allen's, Diggs, Jamar Chase? That can't be Jamar Chase, is it, in a 12-team? How'd you get Diggs and Jamar Chase and Josh Allen? That's just crazy to me. There's no way Diggs made it all the way back to, like, the 211. But I don't know. Either way, maybe you traded for him already. For me, I think you're kind of sitting okay. Obviously, you want to take advantage. You kind of have open spots with Drake and Higbee. Honestly, I'd probably be starting Higbee over Ferguson, or maybe depending on the matchup there. So if you're looking to maybe upgrade at tight end, you can. Woods is kind of, hit or miss, but I do like Roshan. I think you should keep him. Reynolds, you might have to wait till he has some big weeks, but, he may go away once JMO comes back in week 6. So I think he's up. Kenyon Drake, and nobody I'm getting too excited about, and I'm just not a big fan for rostering 2 tight ends if I don't have to. So I think your starters are pretty decent. No arguments there. DJ Moore maybe if you want to try to upgrade that position a little bit or split up Roshan and DJ Moore. And otherwise, just kind of keep your eyes out for waivers and, depending on what you have on the wire. But I think your starters are pretty solid there. What's your record? I just want to know what the record is with that team. So, all right. Was anybody else new in here that you seen? Or did you have anything else to add on that? Sorry.
No, we're good. I was actually gonna send you a message here.
Oh, okay.
Did see
All
one
right.
interesting one here, but yeah, I'm just trying to move on here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm like, is there
last
anybody
one
else?
here.
Any other questions we got in there?
Oh,
So we'll get out of
Vista.
here.
That was all part of that same thing, or no?
What does he say? QBs, Allen, Jacobs, Pierce. Oh, so he's just kind of finishing up with the rest of that.
Yeah.
JT waiting, Hill, Watson, so just dropping Jets, keeping Steelers. Yeah, I think you're fine there. Got Christian Watson, Nico, Hill, Godwin. Yeah, team looks good to me. I mean, need to do something at running back, but you have Kamara and Moss. You might be able to run them out for the next couple weeks and just kind of see what happens. So yeah, just keep it rolling.
Yeah, with that, I think we're gonna
Keep
close it
seeking
out.
out trades. Yeah, so I think that's it. So appreciate it. I know it's like right always when we start closing out, we get a bunch of like people popping in here. So
Yeah.
again, we appreciate it, man. Everybody that's here. If we didn't get to your comment this week, we do apologize. But if Tresner just dropped that in there, happened to read it and just said it. Good thing it wasn't anything else weird. Again, if we didn't get to your question here, you guys can always reach us anytime off the stream. Just go down in the description. You'll see the link there for our private sleeper channel. Make sure you guys go in there. You can post, the screenshots or, type out your team, kind of like you're doing here, your question, whatever it is, start a thread. Myself, Tycoon, who's in here, Ron, we'll all be in there giving you our 2 cents, helping you get your lineups right. Any type of advice or anything in there, we're all degenerates. So we talk football there basically 24/7. So make sure you guys utilize that in between stream times. Otherwise, you can catch us here Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sunday mornings here at Get Right Fantasy Network. Before we get out of here, I do have to thank our other sponsor here, TrophySmack.com. So if you guys are looking to take your league to the next level with a belt, a ring, a trophy, or even our Kirk Cousins chains. Ooh, we didn't time that one out. There we go. Kirk Cousins chains, your belts, you'll run through them. But you guys get the ideas, man. Go check it out. Those are a lot of fun in addition to whatever prize money you may have. Of course, the pride and everything that goes with it. Put a belt, a ring, or something like that. And it just makes it even better, man. So go check them out. The link is in the description. Browse what they have to offer. When you do check out, use that promo code GETRIGHT at checkout. And that'll help out the channel here for us. So we appreciate that. Also, make sure you guys check out our affiliate channels here, the Fantasy Frontline Podcast with Tim and AJ. Tim just had a brand new baby, so his stream's on hold here for a little while, but he'll be coming out soon. Soon here, might even be a guest with us here on Friday. So just stay tuned. We have the Check Down Podcast with Cody McGoat, Shirtless Pat, Greg, and the fellows over there. So make sure you guys go check them out. They should be streaming here on Wednesdays. They kind of don't talk necessarily all fantasy football. They just talk football in general, a lot of fun, do bets, things like that. Very entertaining show, man. A good group of guys there that know their stuff. So make sure you guys go check them out. And then we have coming soon to the Get Right Fantasy Network is the Dead Zone Fantasy Show with our boy and very first subscriber, Mr. Adam J. You guys know him as Din Boys DC FL for life. So make sure you guys go check them out. All the links are in the description. Of course, we have our friends of the show, Dynasty Pylon with Martin, Grizz, and Tank and the fellows over there. And then, of course, our boy, Tycoon, who you guys saw here in the chat, big time friend of the show. His link is down in the description as well. Make sure you guys go check out the Fantasy Boardroom. He streams on Wednesdays as well. So for myself, Frank, you got anything else? I know you're trying to get out of here.
Try it. I'm done.
You're out. All right, so we're done tonight, man. It's been a long week, man. We'll be back here on Wednesday for you guys. For myself, man, for Dustin, for Frank, and for Classic Mike, who'll be back here on Friday. This is Get Right Fantasy Network. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Get us to 1,000 subs here as soon as possible. We're always here answering your questions. And with that said, you got the outro queued up, Frank?
Let's do it.
Let's get out.
Fantasy is the play. Marking nothing but I tune every Friday. Strategies provided.